the ceremony over, it was time to get down to work. The ministers held the first Federal Executive Council meeting of the present administration.
The highlight of the meeting today was the President welcoming us into the Executive Council, and we reviewed the report of the Ministerial retreat that took place last week. And during the meeting, the President once again reiterated his charge to all of us to see our appointments as a call to duty, and for us to also understand the precarious nature and situation of Nigeria today, and that we should all double our efforts to justify the confidence Nigerians have in us and he has in us. Again, against the background that we don't just have new ministers, we also have our new permanent secretaries. We're all asked to go back to our ministries and get acquainted with our new ministries, get acquainted with our officers, and then that we should remember that we should not go into the ministries with any closed mind or prejudice or bias. Rather, we should go there with an open mind and look at the bureaucracy also as a very potent partner in the adult task of governorship. So that's actually the highlight of what transpired today.
When Nigeria started, we started with agriculture, and Nigeria was better off. And what we need to do is to reform the sector and then do massive investment in the sector so as to create wealth and employment for our team youth. If you remember, most of the new generation, most of the young men and women, are not into agriculture. Maybe because of wrong perception, maybe because of lack of sufficient attention to the sector. So what we want to do is to be able to, reorganize that sector and ensure that it is attractive, with the right incentives so that the new Nigeria of our dreams could be realized with, the massive creation of employment for our teaming, youths in Nigeria. Unemployment is a major issue, and the only way we can do, justice to that is to ensure that we invest massively in agriculture and create the desired wealth for the nation.
Communications is one area which could become the cash cow of this country. Without oil, without even agri. If we handle communications very well, I think Nigeria will be in for very good, times. We will have enough money to run all our programs as a federation. So I want to assure Nigerians that I am coming as somebody who is determined to make a great impact in the area of communications. You know what communications entail? It entails everything that, for instance, all the GSM companies come under the purview of the Ministry of Communication, and all the satellite stations, come under the purview of communications, and a lot more. You talk of the internet, you talk of all sorts of, issues. These are areas that Nigerians have passion for. Nigerians spend a lot of money on, this area, and you want to ask questions whether we are really getting the best, as a country.
It's about contributing sizably to the GDP of Nigeria, and it's about ensuring that we're not dependent on one product so that we can absorb the shocks when the fluctuating fortunes of that one product comes by relying on other vehicles in our economic growth. And solid minerals. Clearly, Nigeria is replete with a lot of solid minerals, but we haven't been able to do much about it. So clearly, this is the time to not just focus, one, study carefully why is it that Nigeria has not been able to make a headway in solid minerals development, and what do we need to do to break out from this trap of inactivity in our solid minerals sector. Those are the issues that I'm going to be focusing on, but I have to study what's going on in the ministry, and I have to ensure that I present an action plan for the development of solid minerals in the country.
Please sit down. Thank you.
Some of the ministers showed a determination to hit the ground running as they assumed office immediately. They spoke about the policy direction of the present administration.
We're going to calibrate performance on the basis of lost time. I do not want any station or any day in this country passing in which every citizen of this country does not have the fuel that they need or the cable that they need. And we're doing a full holistic look at how we buy, how we distribute, and what our spontaneous reactions are in terms of emergencies. So I can assure you that the queues you see, if they are still there by the end of today, will be out by the end of the day tomorrow. We're walking around the clock, and I'm getting almost an hourly brief on this.
Continue along the lines of the policies of the minister who left here. Extend services to farmers. Try and provide them credit. Do the GES scheme and continue with it, but with some corrections where there were little difficulties, like the quality of fertilizer and seed which went out. In many cases, some of the seeds were very, very low quality, packaged and passed off as good. But now emphasizing export. We've got to earn foreign exchange for this country like we did before. And we can do it. From cocoa, coffee, cashew, sesame seed, even ogbono, which is in demand in the US now, and I'll explain that to you some other time soon. But also acquire self-sufficiency in food production. We can't be importing milk and bananas and potatoes and tomato paste. There's no need for that. So these are basically the things. But also getting young people into agriculture.
However, Nigerians have their expectations, especially as it took the administration nearly 6 months to constitute the federal cabinet.
What Nigerians expect, you know the position of our economy. Just like Mr. President says, so much is expected, especially in the area of job creation. We have so much youth in this country that are not well placed, that are not gainfully employed. It is obvious and very important that the ministers will expect it to be up and running. And Nigeria is so much expected of change from our party, and I think we are ready to deliver. Nigerians expect quick and running after waiting all this long for this to come. So today it has come, and we expect the next few months there will be some changes in the system. And obviously the people that has watched the process today will understand that there's a new change in horizon.
He has done a thorough search on who man the ministries, and of course so many people like me, I'll be surprised that and many people, not only me, that the Dambazo will be in defense and other person has been there. So, but we believe that the president has his own reason on whatever he did, and he did it, and we believe that he did it for the best of this country. And this occasion that just happened now is just a long outstanding waiting for Nigerians. They are waiting for this date. They are waiting for this ministerial appointment to be in place, and here we are today. And as he mentioned, that the minister must work speedy so that they can be able to meet the expectation of citizens. And despite the fact that we are having a situation of fragile economy in our hands, that not becoming an excuse for us not to perform. And we are going to do our best as government to ensure that we meet up the need of the citizens for the best of this country than we inherited in the past.
If you look at what has been assigned to Babatunde Raji Fashola, it clearly shows that when you are hardworking, you should position yourself for more hard work. It's a situation where you have power, works and housing, if I get it right, being given to Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN. This is the period all Nigerians have been waiting for. And I'm sure Nigerians will not be disappointed with the caliber of distinguished Nigerians that have been chosen as their ministers and the portfolios that they've given to them. The work has just started.
It is the responsibility of the president to assign ministries and ministers to ministries, and not to, he assigns a job to any of them, and he can retain any office And it is his job to create ministries or to merge ministries. So because these ministries are not created by law, it is created by the design of the president. That is why if you have, like today, we've now had created Ministry of Budget and Planning, different from what we used to have, which used to be finance, which used to take care of budget and other things. We used to have Ministry of Planning. We now have Ministry of Planning, and this is how Mr. President wants his government structured. Therefore, every person and ministry and minister are equal. It is only the assignments that are different. And of course, all of them are ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Following their inauguration, the ministers are expected to hit the ground running. These appointments have long been expected, and finally, they're here. Nigerians will be watching to see how the ministers, and indeed the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, will deliver on his promise of change.